Hey, this is episode 1 of season 2. Today's guest is Jonathan, the owner of Crew 42 Gym.
I'm Brandy. You need any hoodies, contact us.
You're retarded.
Gonna talk Liverpool, Everton, the gym, life in general. So we'll start off with footy.
Yeah, brilliant.
So, Rafa, what do you think?
Mate, Everton. Do you know what? I genuinely feel sorry for Everton. I'm an odd Liverpool fan insofar as growing up. So my granddad was an Evertonian. My uncles are all Evertonians. So it's only my dad who didn't have a big input on our life, and my brother. So growing up as a kid, I was at the Cop one weekend, the Garden Street the next, and I did that till I was about 12.
Wow.
So I feel sorry for Everton. They've got Rafa who peaked 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like he was pulling up trees at Newcastle either.
No, I mean, yeah.
It's, honestly, and I know it sounds like I'm Everton bashing, so I have to get my caveat in at the beginning that I'm not an Everton basher. But you ask yourself, they're supposed to have these billionaire owners. They've hired a manager that went to a mediocre club and achieved mediocrity with them.
Yeah.
So why have they gone for Rafa?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I'm not precious over it. It's like your ex-bed. Like it hurts, but you just got to let it go. Like,
Yeah,
you've moved on to something better.
Yeah.
And now she's old and fat now. So.
Yeah,
you shout out to all my experts there.
You said that he was your last. It would be your first choice, should I say? Yeah.
There's so much more. Do you know what it is? It's so Everton. They try something exciting, and the fans are so passionate and like want them to succeed, but also really nervous.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't succeed, they start getting jittery.
Yeah.
So they go to Sam Allardyce or Moisey.
Yeah.
So, and I think Rafa's that. You know, with Rafa, he'll steady the ship. He'll fall out with the owners. I mean, I don't know whether he'll win the fans, like, but that's normally his mantra. Argue with the owners, steady the ship. You can't lose if you don't concede.
Yeah.
And it's not what you want for Everton.
Definitely not.
You want to be...
I mean, everything was going to be a dip from Ancelotti anyway.
Yeah, Ancelotti.
Yeah.
Whoever we got,
Unbelievable.
do you know what I mean? Like, Carlo Ancelotti, mate, he's probably top 3 managers
Oh, 100%,
ever.
mate. When he went, I was...
So shocked, like, but yeah, Rafa, I mean, listen, I'll get behind him, like I'll get behind Everton always, but he definitely wouldn't have been in my top 10 choices.
As far as Everton go, Rafa's not your worst problem at the moment.
I know, yeah.
Who would you have sooner had? Like, top of yours. I mean,
There was no one there was no one really out there, and the managers we were linked with is the standard managers we're always linked with, Eddie Howe, and you know, it's just the
Lampard
same
might have
old.
been a mad show, but again, that's a gamble with Lampard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Rooney, again, another gamble, but
I'd rather give it to Ferguson over them, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? I'd have just give it to him.
Take the pre-season, would he? The freaking convict.
I'm mad.
That's crazy.
Left him.
I can't believe that.
He's like,
I thought someone
can't go USA, lad. I'll stay at home. Rafa's like, adios.
I thought someone was on the wind-up and they were saying
Nah.
that, and then I seen that they actually were in America. I can't believe that was the case, that he's actually...
Such a Duncan Ferguson thing to do as well.
But you know what? This is going to sound again, Everton bashing them, not, but there'll be so many Evertonians that'll wear that as a badge of pride.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, 100%.
Which is, yeah. It's like, there's a thing I've seen on Twitter, obviously, elephant in the room, potentially an Everton player that we won't name because we can't confirm it.
Yeah.
It's a free legal advice. He
shops in Iceland.
Yeah. There's an Everton fan put on Twitter, like, one player doesn't represent the club, and I was like, I agree with you. But then the lad said, well, I was born after Hazel, why are you calling me a murderer when you go to Anfield? And it was like, there you go. And I've been, years ago it wasn't as bad, but I was at the derby, I think it was last season, and there was a lad, and I honestly, he can't have been more than 22. And we scored, and I saw him like, he stuck his hand in his pocket, and honestly, he pulled out an Italian flag with murder written on it, and I was like, lad, there's no need for that. And don't get me wrong, I've been in the Anfield end when we've played United, and I've heard the Liverpool fans start singing "Always Look on the Runway" for us. Like, that shit needs to go out of footy, in my opinion. There's nothing wrong with banter. Like I said, I've sat in the Gladys Street in a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, and got it, yeah.
Used one, like, so I think that saved me bacon. I think it was 2-0 maybe, Gravison scored, and maybe Carsley, I think. And there's me and my brother were sat with my cousins and that, and a few lads, so we were like in a bubble around the lads, but I had like a hoodie on with my Liverpool top on and my hoodie open. And I looked at me watching, it was like 5 minutes before kick-off, and I was like, that's my brother, let's try and sneak out. We stood up and everyone was just like, meat pies. Honestly, meat pies at me head. I was like, they've been saving that. They've been saving that since half time. Yeah. Fucking get that. No, they've got fights here. Yeah. And shit like that, I was like, yeah, we were just like, yeah, sounds well done. See you later. Yeah. That's how, but none of the, like, aggressive. Yeah, nah, I'm not into that. That needs to get out of football.
Yeah. What about your signings this week? Obviously, Townsend, Begovic, Gray. Yeah.
I mean,
What's the Mario Gray got? Is it 10 goals in 6 years? Is it?
yeah. What has he done? Do you know what I mean? He's fast, that's it.
2 years ago, it would have been alright, I reckon. Because he started to shine a little.
It's just frustrating. It's like, alright, we've got Benitez, Ancelotti's gone, and now we fucking signed Begovic, Gray, and
your problem is,
do you know what I mean?
Tactic is 10 men no further forward than the number 8 position, and a striker who can roll.
I think he wants 2 quick wingers who can run and just sit back, sprint it, feed it to Calvert-Lewin.
To be fair though, you had 2 keepers on the bench last year because the squad depth.
Yeah. Listen, Begovic is a good sign. He's on the free. He's a good backup. Townsend is a decent signing.
It's not what you want.
No, he's far from what we want, but he's not bad.
Yeah.
Gray, listen, I'm not going to complain, but what has he done?
Yeah, at least they're cheap as well. That's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's like 1.6 mil or something like that. And free for Townsend. Yeah, apparently, yeah. So I know we're trying to offload so much wage, like Tosin and Bernard's just gone.
Got rid of a big wage.
So Marcel Brands is working hard behind the scenes, like, but you're not going.
It's tough with you two competing. I don't know whether the chairman you've obviously got.
Yeah.
Manshuri, is it?
Mashiri, Kenwright.
Kenwright.
Yeah.
And I think they're at loggerheads.
Well, they were at loggerheads over the Benitez signing because Kenwright was so against it.
Yeah.
And Mashiri's just pulled rank.
One thing you're going to get from Benitez, he won't be asked what the fans think, which is...
No, I think he said that in his first press conference.
Like, he won't care that they give him crap. It just won't register with him. It happened with Liverpool when he tried to offload, well, when he did offload, but when he said he wanted to get rid of Alonso for Bayern. He wasn't asked, and Alonso had the best season I think he's ever had. That's including for Madrid, for Bayern, for us, and he was just like, Gareth Barry's the type of player I want. And honestly, as a Liverpool fan,
it's just mad, isn't it? The one thing I did like though, he took a training session and he was very involved on the training pitch and getting involved, and the lads were sweating, and I think Godfrey said we haven't been worked this hard in a long time, and I thought, you know what, that's good. So let's see.
For a year as well, so you're moving towards it.
I mean, listen, it's not like we had a great season last season anyway, and we had one of the best managers in the world. Do you know what I mean? So
I don't know, there was points, wasn't there, where it was
it's
were going to be all right.
Certainly early on.
Yeah.
Just kind of, as I said, that was just down to the squad.
I think Decore was your best signing, definitely.
1,000,000%, I agree. 100%.
He's the best. Rodriguez, is the best player. But
I think he'll go in.
For me, it was Godfrey. Your best.
Godfrey, he's quick in, mate.
Yeah, he played everywhere across the back.
He did, left back, right back, centre half. Played centre defensive mid one game. It's like when we played Calvert-Lewin right back for 3 games. When he come through the ranks.
No way.
Swear to God, I'll find it and put it in here.
No way.
Swear down. Calvert-Lewin. It is. Played right back for 3 games. Yeah.
I had a conversation with a lad the other day. Alex, comes to gym.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me, and I took the class yesterday, and I just said, I'm not even going to say that, and it's a tough time being a blue, and he just went, and he went, I'm going to put a spade in the ground, I'm going to find a sinkhole or something. No, I and I was like, the way your season's going, it's either that or like Japanese knotweed or some bird's going to land that's a protector.
Yeah, it's going to be something, isn't it?
Honestly,
What are your expectations for Liverpool this season?
Big. I think we showed last season we got resilience, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
and we didn't. Whilst we didn't challenge, we didn't fall away. I think we'd be good. Obviously, Van Dijk back's a massive one. I don't know how to pronounce the other. Konate. Is that how you spell it? Yeah. Sorry, pronounce it. He looks like he's going to be an amazing signing. Yeah. And if Matip can stay fit, I'll be honest. Obviously, Van Dijk's hands, like heads and shoulders, above every other player. But Matip's one of my favourite players. He reminds me of Hansen.
Yeah.
I just really like him. He's just got something like extra about him. And if he can stay fit, great. So then the problem's your front line. You've got to hope that Firmino's not going to have another stuttering season.
Yeah.
But even if he does, Salah and Mane are going to create and score enough goals themselves. So he only really needs like 9 goals, doesn't he? But then there's talk of the Ox, who I think, he's going to chip in with, if he stays fit, he's definitely going to get 10 goals, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, I've got big expectations. The only problem is you've got the oil merchants who've got 600 million more sponsorship than any other team.
Yeah.
It's just a joke. And the FFP stuff. And then they can spend that. I can't remember the last time they sold a player.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely.
For decent money, Yeah.
Like, genuinely.
Well, that's for decent. But the thing is, who did he sell? They sold someone last week, I think, for like 40-50 mil.
Yeah.
I can't remember now. Some fucking no one. Do you know what I mean? And that's how crazy City is.
Oh, young lad. Wasn't Rodri? Was it Rodri?
Oh, I can't remember now.
Someone,
Actually,
But you know, like, that's nothing, and that's not all over Twitter or anything.
They spent there the 50 year, the 160 they're going to spend on Kane.
Yeah, it's just
they're
ridiculous.
Not filling the stadium. We won the league. You don't get a lot of money by all accounts. They certainly didn't win the Champions League.
Yeah.
So it's bullshit, and it's a con that the companies are allowed to sponsor themselves.
Yeah.
So what's the point of it? Like an hour PSG getting away with it? They didn't win anything. The French League didn't even win the French League.
Exactly, yeah.
So FFP is the biggest load of crap.
Pick and choose.
They need an independent body to do it.
They do, yeah.
Not a FIFA regulated industry to do it, because it's just no objectiveness to the review of what they're doing. It's just
because no doubt if that was Liverpool doing that, fucking hell, they'd be murder. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But not these billionaire owners, and they wanted to go out and do like the Venky's did and sign Ronaldinho. And Beckham, they'd be shot down.
Exactly.
But I think.
So, but you said pick and choose. Who do?
Yeah, it's United. I mean, their sponsorship stuff's mad. They're still globally huge.
Oh yeah.
But they still get all the money in, and then you're like, they've got the most expensive defender, the most expensive midfielder, and the most expensive forward in the league. It's weird. Like, because they haven't won nothing either.
No, literally.
We won a couple of stuff and we're the skinters down to the lot of them.
Can you see us offloading anyone else? Obviously, we were talking.
We're doing
30 million already. Like,
well, we're doing really well with fringe players. Like, we're doing really well with that. We've just got 12 million, haven't we, for Wilson? But that doesn't come until next year, does it? To help Fulham with FFP. Henderson, I don't know. Bit of inside info on Henderson for you. A friend of mine is away in an unknown place, and Henderson's there. And I was like, and he's like, no, I'm trying to play cool. I'm trying to pretend I'm a baller, so I haven't let on. He said, so Henderson's playing ping pong with his kids. So then my mate's kids are the same age and just legged it over and grabbed the bat off Henderson and started playing. And then his kids just got bored and lashed the bat. So they were like, Henderson and his kid, my mate and his kids. And then the kids got off and it was just my mate and Henderson playing. So I was like, how's Operation Hendo's our new best mate going? I was like, inviting me wedding. He was like, yeah. So then I was like, did you say anything about like Liverpool? And he was like, no, I'm trying to play cool. And he said, well, you never guess what the lads are desperate to wear today. And I'm like, what? And they've come down like full kit wankers, the kids. I took around kids are only like 4 or 5. And they're there. And he was like, Henderson's shouting the same. And I was like, please tell me you and your missus have got Sunderland tops on. So anyway, he's there, and then all this stuff came out about Henderson, and I didn't buy into it at first. I just thought, first negotiation, no problem. And then he was like, oh man, you want to see Henderson? So his head's down, he hasn't been off his phone, he's sat on the thing, he's ringing, he's on the phone. He's walking around at the grounds just kicking a ball on the phone. So then the next day, my mate goes, because Henderson, I think, lives in Formby, and my friend lives not far from Formby. So I was like, get the kids to me, mate, it's a good way in. So he's trying to chat to him, and he said he saw Henderson the other day, and he was like, Henderson was like, you alright, mate? And Dean was like, I mean, my unnamed friend. My mate goes, I look better than you, mate. And he was just like, well, shit, and just walked off.
Fuck, that's not good, that is it? Yeah.
When does the contract end? 2023?
He's got a while left on it, but still, though, it's...
You would not get it, you just wouldn't.
Sounds like Wijnaldum all over again.
But the Wijnaldum thing, so do you reckon he got offered 250 from Barca and he's on 315 at PSG, so it's definitely money there, but you can't blame him.
No,
years, big payout.
Exactly,
does he get a signing on fee though, or does he, even though they haven't bought him?
Probably
I don't know. But that's what we were thinking. Henderson wouldn't get a signing on fee, he'd just get a contract, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
And it's his last contract, so there's that. But you'd hope captain and Klopp wants him And he's good.
Yeah.
You know, and Milner's there like.
Come on, Champions League and Premier League, mate. Do you know what I mean? You can't. He's a
no
leader.
way, yeah.
You even seen it when he played for England. He doesn't have the armband on, but he's a leader on the pitch.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
where-
That's what you need.
Even off it, by
Yeah.
the videos and that.
Yeah, helping like that tie with Saka. Yeah, it's Bob. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's a lovely fella. Teetotal, doesn't get into any trouble.
Love all that.
Always there, giving it his best. He's had his problems with injuries, but he doesn't hold him back, has he?
Nah, definitely not. And as I said, you need them in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
1,000,000%.
his whole, like attitude and his personality is something that'll leak into the team because
Yeah.
he's the captain. It's the attitude and personality you want.
Mm.
So I hope we keep him. Whether we do or not, I don't know. It doesn't fit in with the American moneyball tactics, but then again, you don't know what he's asking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So my opinion is, don't give him what he wants. Like if he wants 315 grand, see you later.
Yeah.
But certainly, you know, reward him. You know, recognise what he's contributed. So yeah, I would love to keep him.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'd be daft to let him go.
1,000,000%.
Surely not, anyway.
But then you're going to say to yourself, well, Klopp's probably thinking, well, he's got 2 years left in him.
Yeah. What can we
You know,
get
where's
out?
he
What
gonna
can we
be?
get out of him now? Yeah.
3, is he?
We could sell him now as a Premier League winner, Champions League winner. What would you get for him?
That's what I was
It's
thinking.
a madness.
Do you know what I mean?
His injury
Madness.
record.
It could be 30 million, it could be 50 million.
Mm,
If you look at, let's pick a random example, Sigurdsson was 50 million, wasn't
yeah. Yeah.
he? Just off the top of my head.
Yeah. Great money spent.
Yeah.
PSG and Atletico looking at him, aren't they? Apparently.
I've heard Atletico looking at him and I
Yeah.
think, I don't know. I wouldn't want to sacrifice him for that Saul, is it?
Yeah.
My pronunciation on players
Atletico.
isn't great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, same.
I wouldn't want to swap him because you know he can do it. You know
Yeah.
he can do the pace. You know he's better for the team.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't buy that. So yeah.
That's what I mean, for the sake of what, 20, 25 mil.
Prime example, Michael Ballack when he came to Chelsea, he was established
Mm.
in the Bundesliga. Was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Was the man in the
Yeah.
Bundesliga.
Yeah.
He come to Chelsea and he was pants.
He was, yeah.
Yeah. And now he was the massive wage
Yeah.
bill at the time.
Huge.
Wasn't he?
And apparently,
But it's- yeah.
apparently it wasn't enough to live in London though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In the interview
That's
where he
what
says,
yeah.
yeah, you need more
He's the
money.
highest
than
paid player. Yeah.
Highest paid player.
150 grand a week and you can't live in London.
Crazy, isn't it?
Living in the wrong places, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the train.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll get on to serious talk. Obviously, you're the owner of My Place of Work, Crew 42, and obviously that's not your only job really. But how did that come about, Crew 42? What made you and Michelle?
Well, I was just going to say before someone looks at me and goes, he owns a gym. It's more my, so Michelle, my fiance, soon to be wife. Yeah, 21st of August, guys, put your diary. So basically, a couple of steps back, I work with a guy who's an unbelievable businessman. And it's great speaking to him, and he gives you little incentives, little ideas, and he's always like, look at the next step, look at the next step. So we were sat with Michelle, and she was doing great as a PT, but we were conscious that we wanted a family, and she'd have to take time off, and there was maternity, and then we were talking about, you know, what the future held for her. And she didn't really come into being a PT till later on in life. She had some mad jobs. She was like, worked on EasyJet. She was a Dyson engineer. She built Range Rovers.
No
like
way.
she went for the police. She went for the fire brigade. She went to be like a occupational health nurse. Like she was all over the place. She just was like bang, 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 and I was like, stop. So she didn't get her PT qualifications until she was about 30, I want to say, maybe 29. So then anyway, we're talking and we were chatting away, and she was working out at this other gym. I was like, I could do better than this. Not that I won't say what it was because the gym was great,
Yeah.
but that sounds really dismissive for me. I was just looking at it thinking, well, why don't they do this? Or if they put a bit of effort in, they could do this. And so then we were chatting, and then we toyed with the idea of, is there a market to try and be like, you know, PT to the stars? Could you get loads more money? And then I was like, it's so difficult. You've got to be on social media,
Yeah.
and it was too difficult. And I was like, that stuff probably comes from reputation or referrals. Like obviously, Jay, you obviously didn't plan to be training some of your better known
Yeah.
clients who just come about for your
Yeah.
hard work. So we were like, you can't plan that. So we were talking about it, and I was like, well, why don't you open your own studio and you can get it running, and I'll help you do it. So it was more a case of trying to work a way out that she could make money without working. But also we did look at a lot of the gyms in Liverpool. Like none of them are actually look like a great place to be, because she went and got offered a job at JD, and it was like you have to pay rent and you have to work 18 hours,
Yeah.
and the hours are like 7 till 9 in the mornings, and then 6 till 8 at night, and you're like, there's the only time people want to train.
Similar to
Especially,
when you
especially in the city centre, and they wanted the pound of flesh from you, and there was such a hierarchy of like, oh, well, he's been here the longest, so we get to do the pick of the bunch, and we were like, no, that's rubbish. You know, just open the gym, and we just wanted to have a place where, like, I'll tell you as well, we went to New York, and we were going to look at different gyms, and there's a gym over in New York called Switch. It's massive, so we went. We sat in the waiting room, and on their like social media, it's all like fellas with ripped 6-packs and like bikini model beds. So I'm like, sat there, 17 stone, offers dad bod, like getting really self-conscious.
Yeah.
And I was waiting. We were only there for about 5 minutes. I started to get. I'm a confident lad, you know me. I don't get phased by much, but I started to get a bit jittery. And was like, I'm gonna make an idiot of myself trying to keep up with these super fit meatheads. And the waiting room wasn't a place where you saw anyone. So I started to get a little like, fuck, I don't want to be here. And I said to Michelle, I'm not waiting no more, I'm going. Because it was like 10:05 when it should have started at 10. And then we ended up staying, and we got in, it was just a bunch of normal people. So the social media was all false.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want that. It's horrible feeling that. For a guy who needs to go to the gym, I shouldn't feel self-conscious. I should feel like, no, like, come in, well in for you turning up. Like, that's the hardest. Seeing a big fat guy running, he's trying harder than Mo Farah doing it at 10,000 metres. And, you know, I respect them more. Not to say that I don't respect Mo Farah, he's like national hero, but that was just a bad example. So we wanted a place where people felt comfortable, and then we wanted to change the mentality to gyms, because the egos in gyms, as you probably know yourself, some people are just so full of themselves.
Yeah.
So we didn't have any mirrors put in the gym. None of that. You're just all about you, and no one's asked about you, and you're just only focused on yourself. We wanted to make it feel like it was a crew mentality, so everyone could feel part of it, so you weren't like self-conscious that you were alone. Everyone was like in it and wanted you to succeed. You wanted everyone else to succeed. And then we wanted to make it fun and a place where people like a bit like a community vibe where you could just go and hang out rather than just being there. And then the classes we wanted to make as good and as intense and as fun as possible. So that's where we split off half the gym. I blacked out all the windows, blacked out all the walls, we turned the lights off, got strobe lights in, disco lights. So you go in, you don't know what you do, and in 45 minutes you're just like, oh my god, what am I there? Jesus, like, you know, and you're a bit like, wow, fuck, didn't know I could do that. And then it's a party atmosphere, you have a laugh, everyone has fun. I try and make it as fun as I can when I'm there doing the classes. Different trainers have their own personalities and their own approach. Michelle's so lovely, everyone just likes being around her. I'm more like, look, lad, if I can do it, you definitely can do it. And you know, and then you've got the other PTs who are like, turn your foot a quarter inch and you'll engage your hyperpepsive, like, you know. So we've got a good mix. But yeah, so the gym was one to create the community, one to change the attitude to gyms, two to help Michelle establish a career and give her a good focus in life as to what she wanted to do. And I was merely there just to give her support and help with a bit of business advice when I could. So she just ran with it, really.
That's one thing. When we moved in, it was kind of like, this is the place where.
I remember when you went to view it and sent me the video.
Yeah,
straight away, and I was like, wow, like that's just so different to what we've ever trained or what we were in.
Because before I moved to Crewe, I was in a different place.
I
won't say the place, but it was down. After I left another place called Gym Monkeys, I was only there for a month or two, and it was quite intimidating. I don't know if that's the best way to say it.
It probably was. I mean, I went there and I felt a bit intimidated.
There was no one spoke to me. There was no music on. Juice heads. Do you know what I mean?
Stuff full of Instagram people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very. And then, like, don't get me wrong, I use.
But it's real Instagram
that's
now,
it. Yeah. Whereas
exactly.
Looking in the mirror.
Like doing reps and like turn that way, taking photos. Like, what are you doing?
I don't think anyone. And do you know what? We've not asked this, and we've not said it, and we've not requested it. None of our trainers use a filter on anything. No one turns up a photo. No photos like, I'll take it again.
Exactly,
you know what I mean? It's all like, bang,
it's real. It's real.
Yeah, and obviously hearing you guys say the stuff like that, honestly, it means the world. It makes us so happy, because it was hard, like really hard. Like, I don't think I could do it again if I had to. It like took a lot out of us to get it going. Like, I was going in, finishing work, going. So we had a month rent free to get it going. And I was finishing from the law firm, legging it across the road, getting in there from 5:30, working till 2 in the morning, going to bed, then going back at like about 6 till about 8:30, and then going back to the law firm. And I did that for about a month. And it killed me, and I was skinned because we ploughed so much money into it. And then it's like, is it going to work? And then it doesn't happen immediately. And you're like, oh shit, I haven't got time to wait. And you're like, what can I do? What can I do? We're trying to push this product on everyone, and no one's paying attention. And it's hard to sell a gym to people because people have got to want to go.
Yeah.
You can do a certain amount of convincing, but equally you just kind of need to be there when they decide, fucking, I'm going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And then getting the right people. Jay's been unbelievable for us. Jay's been one of the biggest influences on the gym's success. Not just me and Michelle. I'd say Jay himself, for his attitude, his coverage, his advice he's given us about what we need to do, what to do with the gym. All his social media exposure has been unbelievable for us. It's really helped us out a lot. And I think without people like Jay and the other trainers, we certainly wouldn't have been able to survive. Because then, just as we started to get going.
Lockdown.
That's what I was going to say. I was. I don't know. Obviously, for you, it's
dangerous.
Lockdown.
Well, you saw how nervous we got at one point.
Yeah.
We did think about we had an idea where there was a person who had like a lot of social media following and was and we toyed with it. So we thought we'll speak to him, and then when we spoke to it, we realised this guy. We're not sure it works for us. We decided no, but sometimes it's better to try that and realise what you.
I think so. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I
yeah.
don't say grass is greener, but when you've only had one focus, if you don't know what's out there, you maybe take it for granted.
I think as well, it's so easy to lose your identity if you go down the wrong pathway.
Yeah.
So to realise something straight away, like that's probably not us.
No. Well, we were trying to think we need to move forward stuff because each month I was having to put into the gym to keep going, and we knew we were going to have a family and kids. I was like, I can't be doing this. Yeah. Afford it. And we toyed with it because we were exploring all different ideas, and then it turns out we were like, you've just done it on this. So yeah. And there was points, I'll be honest, with COVID, where it was dark, and you're thinking, she was just throwing the towel. Yeah. What's the effort? Is it worth the effort? And then, to be honest, it was the members and you guys, the PTs, that really made us think, yeah, this is why we do it. You know, clearly we wanted to succeed. We could be very greedy about the business, and we're not. We try and put back in what we get. We try and be generous with everyone. We try and be generous with the PTs. We try and be generous with our time. Like, I gave so much of my time. I've honestly never taken a penny out of the gym. Yeah. And Michelle has not really taken a lot. She's taken little bits because she doesn't get paid, and she didn't get furloughed, and she didn't get maternity leave.
That's a fucking nightmare, that, isn't it?
So we stuck with it. We rode the storm, and it made us more resilient, more confident, and I think it got us a lot of loyalty with the members as well. Yeah. And I think even though we've been open now for 3 years, it's really only been 18 months. Yeah. Well, yeah, we were saying that way, and we with our training. Yeah. Been training for what, 2 years, but it's but we worked it out, and it was like 8 months.
It is though, isn't it? Like, because we were saying, obviously, lockdown massively. I mean, again, another thanks to you. You just let us take equipment, the chargers, nothing like that. Like, that's another credit to you. Where gyms were charging £40.
Yeah, we didn't like the idea of that. No, we didn't like it at all. We were just take it. Yeah, we just. Well, do you know what it thought to us? If it helps them out, then they'll like us more. Not like us more, but you know, they'll. The way I thought it, if we showed trust and if we showed trust and like gratitude to them and be like, no, of course you can, guys. That'll come back around to us, and it might be a time when we never need it. Yeah. Like there might be someone you see doing something not right at the gym, and you'd be like, "Hang on, mate." Where if it was someone you weren't asked, like in JD, if you saw someone booting the weights, you just go like, do you know what I mean? Where it was, it's like, stop it, because I know how hard they work for that, and I know how much it means to them. What are you doing? Like, that's a small example, but little stuff like that. So and then one of the other things we're going to bring back as well, we're bringing back Prosecco Friday. It's for anyone who doesn't know. What we do is we have a big party class on a Friday, and then me and Michelle do a Costco run and buy loads of booze and sometimes pizzas, depending on how many people there. And after the class, we just have a few hours, give everyone some free ale. Everyone gets to know each other. The idea behind that is to create loyalty for the members, but also to create friendships. 100%. So, like, when you walk, also it helps, I think, a lot with the PTs meeting each other and meeting the other clients so they can market themselves to it. So it's a business decision, but also it allows, if you've got a woman who comes with her mate and that's their crutch to go to the gym together, you know what it's like, you don't need much not to go to the gym. Me laces are tied in a knot, I can't do my shoe, I won't go. I haven't got my favourite socks, I don't actually, it's easy to say no, so we thought, like, if your gym buddy's not going, at least you'll be like, well, Alex and Sarah normally on that class, and
Yeah.
we went out to do karaoke with them. So let's do it.
Yeah.
So,
Great, isn't it?
It's great. No, it's a great idea. And it fits in with obviously when you're saying the community feel and the party atmosphere, and
Yeah.
there's no one else is doing that.
Nah, there isn't.
No.
There's not
Isn't.
100%.
No way.
100%.
someone else does free parking in the Liverpool city centre.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, does that?
Going back to obviously the lockdown side of it though, when you gave us all that, the weights and that, like you said, obviously loyalty and trust, but you don't realise what that done to like the likes of me and you mentally, because yeah, I mean, you seen what I was like that first month or so. I didn't leave the house, and I'm in the gym, 12 hours a day at least. You know what I mean? But I love it there. That's my In fact, like, I'd sooner be there than home. Not to, no disrespect to Lizzie.
It's just gonna say you
fucking swat.
But that's where I'm happy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd like to think I've never come across on like a bad day to anyone. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm moody or anything. I was trying like massively. Me and him are training every single day. 7 o'clock in the morning. I was even running here, cycling here, just to train because that helped us. Because we had them weights that we wouldn't have had.
And I think that's where, not to get too political, but that's where the government let a lot of people down.
Oh yeah.
Not saying, look, exercise is important.
Yeah.
Like it really is. Like Jay will tell you, I'm not trying to exaggerate here. I go to the gym a lot. Like a lot. I do at least 5 to 6 sessions a week at least. I just can't shift weight. But I'm just like, whatever, doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather be fat and fun than thin and dull. So like, you know, I'm lifting weight and I'm fit. It's not like I'm blowing out my arse. Like I still hold the record apart from one of the PTs for the fastest 500 metre run. Take that to the grave. So but for me it's the mentality aspect is what I need. I need that like clears your system out. You guys know you both work out as if not harder than me. Like you are non-stop. Like your hours must be all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
You work every hour God sends. You must be loaded. You must be pure wedge. So when's he gonna buy a car? So he's there like Scrooge McDuck. So I need like the endorphins and the release and the mental benefit for me just is the best thing for it. And I hate working out. No, I don't. That's a lie. I hate getting ready to work out.
Yeah.
No one ever finishes a workout and goes, I fucking wish I'd never done that. I fucking shite that. Yeah. Everyone's always like, oh. And then 10 minutes your endorphins kick in. You're like,
the hardest bit
boss
is
me.
The hardest bit is turning up.
It is.
The hardest bit.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, tying your last lace, you're done. You can't say no then, can you?
Yeah.
The minute you step in that gym, you're like, sound, let's have it.
Yeah, that's why I have to be specific with my workouts. It's either, it has to be routine for me. It has to be consistent routine. And it's either before work, so it doesn't interfere. And I feel like I'm making the day longer if I do it earlier. Rather than later, I feel like I've lost a bit of the day. Or immediately from work.
Yeah.
It has to be like, I could pass it on my way home, I can't. And like, you've seen me, I'm dead after some of those classes, but I'm never like sad. I'm always
Yeah.
yes, I fucking hate them.
But I think a lot of the members that come out are like that. I mean, we've said so many times, especially when you're doing the class, not to big you up. They are so uplifting, isn't it? And someone couldn't make a class, and you took him. You were like, feels like when we first.
I think I walked in. I didn't see you doing the class. I went, Jonathan's doing that class, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think like that's what you want, and you want that party atmosphere, which is what you should go for, and you got it.
Yeah, brilliant. I know, great. That means a lot to us because it's all we're trying to achieve, really.
Yeah,
it's all we want. Like, we're not in it to. Don't get me wrong, we want to make money, but we're not in it to like, right, churning out next. Because we would have done what Abs done. Yeah, the way Abs do it is. No, I won't tell what their business model is, but we won't. Because we let you keep your money.
But like, I think again that's credit to you though, because you have never changed that structure of stuff. I mean, we've obviously had discussions the last couple of weeks where things are starting to change in the gym, but I think that's in a good way. That's not. I'd be the first to say, obviously, as you know, I don't know if that's right. I think what you're doing now is only going to benefit the gym in the long run.
Yeah, and it's what we're doing there. Right, I won't go into our business model, but it's yin and yang. Like, we're still letting you have everything. Yeah. It's only when we bring something in that we're saying, right, well, we're giving it. So it's like our commission, should we say, here you go. And it works so... And we're not saying to you, you have to train this person, or you have to do so many. It's like, do you want it? No? Okay, right, well, we'll give it to someone else then. Do they want it? And if not, then so be it,
yeah. Which I do think's right, and I think that's the way to do it.
The thing what I've noticed is like if you need a certain piece of equipment in the gym or new dumbbells, it's literally done within 2 days. Or like, I'll get Michelle's order. Sound.
Well, that's what we said.
It is.
Tricep bars the other day. I was like, one of them must mention this. Or the
Done.
tomorrow. I was like, what? I was like, sure,
Done.
not,
Hang on,
Yeah.
you say that, I just get a ping on my phone. I'm like,
Yeah.
why have I just spent 900 quid on me application? It'd be nice to know there's curve runners with them and getting squat racks in.
Yeah.
Someone asked for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. You listen to the members. Do you know what I mean?
The you guys that use it, everyone used to keep coming back. I got no pride over it. If you don't
Yeah.
like it, then right, what can
Yeah.
we fix it? Can we get it better? Can we change it? Because it's making a difference. to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Like I said, the way I treat it is it's your workplace.
Yeah.
We're facilitating it for you.
Yeah.
And I think that our attitude to that is, again, you'll take more pride in it, and then also you get more loyalty, and then you'll have pride about the gym when you're talking to anyone else.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest selling point for us is word of mouth.
Yeah.
People's own experience. I can sit here and tell you how boss my business is.
Yeah, yeah.
You just think, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You know, and if someone else goes, his gym's boss, you're going to pay more attention.
Yeah, yeah.
As I said, we've been there. You've been here with me now for in crew for about 2 years. I've been there, just over 2 years, I think, or 2 years in September, I think it was. But around now, 2 years ago, I was in a bad way, bad place, the worst I've ever been. If it wasn't for crew, I don't know where I'd be. That's the God's honest truth. But that's
brilliant to
it.
hear. Like, we wouldn't have known that. Like, you know, you never came across.
Well, yeah.
anything but
That was only that I made that decision that day. I was like, I have to do something. Went to crew, and you were the first person to text me for me. I was like, I've got to. Like, do you know what I mean? There's just something about it. But I was
You know what? We have found a lot of PTs come and they're really nervous about jumping ship. Now, I understand it because it's your livelihood and it's a gamble, and if it doesn't work. One of the PTs who recently joined us, I remember he was a bit on the fence, and I was like, that's Michelle. I was like, if he's be in the gym and he's on the fence, then he's not going to come. Because what else can we do for him? And then he came, and he's like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever done. And that's not me trying to be wow, look at us. But I was like, it is hard, and it is a gamble, and it is a job, it's your career. It's you know, it's a big gamble, and we respect that, which is where I can probably say is the biggest come and join us I can say to anyone is because we do respect how important it is, we do respect how nervous, and we do try and help you as best we can. Anything we can do, we're on it. Like you said, if someone said feature me on social media, we do it. We try and do social media, we put you all on our website, and when it's on our website you click on a picture of you, it's not us, it goes straight to your Instagram. Like, you know, we're just like, this is Jay, and then it's all directed to you after that. So that's how we see it, is like a platform to facilitate you guys. Is that that's our model anyway. Rather than employee and employer.
What's the plan? What's the future for crew, do you think?
If it were in an ideal world, the way we tried to design it is so it's a brand and it's a franchise and it's a business model we can churn out. Like I've said to you on a number of occasions, I'd love to be able to roll it out and you'd be like, right, I want to open one down the road from my house. You know, how much is it going to cost? Let's do it, and we can roll the package out because you know what it needs and what it takes. So ideally, I would like to franchise it out. Whether that's going to ever happen, I don't know. I obviously can't put as much time and effort into it as Michelle because I have quite an intense. Well, I've got 2 other jobs, so I've got quite intense professional life. So my ambitions are very do it, get it done. And Michelle's like, I'm trying to do it. And raise a baby. At the house. And train me PT clients. And I'm like, get it done, I'll see you tomorrow. So the ambition is to grow it and then open another location somewhere else. Because what we've got now in that place I think is great. The only thing I'd change in the gym we've got now, if we could, is, so if anyone who's not been, it's a big massive warehouse. It's split into like 3 sections. So the bit on the right is like the PT training class. So you got, the HIIT studio class. So it's, bit here is the HIIT studio class. Then this section here is like the private PT gym, and then there's like a brick, like cabin almost looking thing, which has got the reception, the massage, sports therapy, changing rooms, toilets, and above that there's nothing. There's about another 30-40 foot above it. I'd like to put something up there. I don't know what, but I think that'd be the next thing I'd do for this gym in Liverpool. And then outside of that, it'd have to be looking at another location. But I think with COVID, we took a real arse kicking. And then also you got a competition like F45, Barry's Boot Camp and all that. Because we did actually look at a Barry's Boot Camp before we did Crew 42, and do you know how much it was to get a franchise for them to open it? To give them £1 million.
Whoa!
Yeah. So you had to buy for £1 million. You had to invest into them to get it all.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Are people doing that?
Must be. There's places around, isn't there? But that's why you only see them in like London,
Yeah.
Manchester. It's like if you want to buy a Domino's franchise, I think that's like £1 million as well.
So they do Domino's.
Yeah.
You make more money. on
Definitely,
Domino's,
yeah.
People are far
Would.
quicker to get fat than fit.
100%.
Why don't we put a Domino's above the
Yeah.
gym?
That's how you slack them.
And the only way you can get your Domino's is if you've done 600 calories. Or so. See everyone on the road like that. Meat feast. Come on, lads.
Yeah, as you said there, you've got a law firm as well, so
Yeah.
balancing the two, as you said, I know Michelle, but Michelle's obviously not long.
Michelle's the hero in this relationship, I'll tell you that right now.
You bought a house in the meantime as well,
Yeah.
while all this was going on, so how's it been juggling all of that for you, and lockdown obviously?
Again, I don't think things quite half. That nearly killed me as well. So, yeah, we were living in the city centre. We got in. So this again, I'm rounding back a little bit. Anyone who hasn't seen, you can see I've got braces. I'll explain. So we got engaged, and then Michelle went to the dentist, and it turns out that she's got her jaw slightly off. So she's got to get an operation on the jaw. It's got to get realigned, rewired, and then braces. So it's going to be about a 3 or 4 year process. But when she said I'm going to get braces, at the time we thought it was just braces, it'd be done.
Yeah.
So I was like, mine's cosmetic really. I didn't need it, but I was like,
If you're doing it, I'll do it. Yeah.
Luckily I got mine. The 20th of February, lockdown happens in the March, and hopefully they're coming off next week. So I timed mine brilliantly. So, Michelle still hasn't had hers put in yet.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we did that, and then I found out, and then it was like going to be a couple of years, and Michelle was like, well, I'd like to have everything finished for wedding photos. Yeah. And I was like, right, well, I'm getting on a little bit now. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, well, I'm 32, and she's like, yeah. I was like, well, we'd like a family. She's like, go on. So I was like, do you want to have a baby? She's like, yeah. And then I swear to God, from my lad's point of view, Michelle's not going to watch this stuff. So I'm thinking, right is right. Yeah. Loads of banging. Yeah. Her family is so fertile. I swear to God, 3 weeks she was pregnant. Honestly, and then
That was you done, yeah.
My need was finished.
Yeah.
So she got pregnant, locked out. So that was like February. No, sorry, that was January. March, we found out she was pregnant. August is
No way.
enough for 3 months. Lockdown happened.
Yeah.
So we're living in this apartment in town, beautiful apartment, really nice. But it's the top floor in an old building. The lift only goes up to like the floor below, and then there's like real steep stairs. So we're like, clearly can't have a baby here, so we need to get a house. Found a house that we loved in about May. We were gonna put in, without getting into the details of the whole way I was trying to manipulate the financial market, was I own the apartment in my name, put a 5% deposit down. We were going to manipulate and recycle the 5% deposit and buy it in Michelle's name. Then there was a case of her earnings as a self-employed. So then we found a mortgage where I could act as guarantor, so she could buy it in her name, but we were both on the mortgage, so that worked out great. COVID was supposed to be ending then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Point. Bang, COVID hit. No, it's not 5% deposit now, it's 40% deposit.
Jesus, like, that's a jump.
Yeah. I was like, so instead of like, what was it? $8,000, you now want 47. Like, you know what I mean? And the baby was like getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. So obviously, being in the industry, pulled up strings with the banks. I just got in a load of mortgage advisors for me. They then managed to find us a deal, but the deal was 10% deposit. Both of us own it, and because we both own it, I then had to pay stamp duty on it, which was a bit of a kick in there. But I had to get a family, so we did it, and we managed to keep hold of the apartment. So we still own the apartment, but then we bought this house. We got it cheap for what it was. I think we worked out we got it about, I think it's 60 grand cheaper than what it should have been, because the lady who'd lived in there unfortunately had passed away, but she'd lived in there all her life. So it was the house was built in the 1800s, but like 2 of the rooms didn't have electricity in it. So like there was lead piping in it, so it needed ripping out. Like the kitchen was smaller than where we're sat now; it was tiny. So it was like crap. So delay. COVID, managed to get it across the line. 24th of August, Baby was due on the 12th of September.
Wow.
So we've got it. And then Michelle's like, oh, do you think this is all last decision? I was like, no, I fucking don't. But I didn't invent fucking COVID. I haven't got 60 grand to buy a fucking house that we can live in. But on the outside, I just said, don't worry. We'll sort it. I was like, so instead of like, what was it? 8 grand, you now want 47. Like, you know what I mean? And the baby Michelle's like getting bigger.
Yeah.
So obviously, being in the industry, pulled I had to pull those strings with the banks. I just got in a load of mortgage advisors for me. They then managed to find us a deal, but the deal was 10% deposit. Both of us own it, and because we both own it, I then had to pay stamp duty on it, which was a bit of a kick in there. But you know, I had to get a family, so we did it, and we managed to keep hold of the apartment. So we still own the apartment, but then so we bought this house. We got it cheap for what it was. I think we worked out we got it about, I think it's 60 grand cheaper than what it should have been, because the lady who'd lived in there unfortunately had passed away, but she'd lived in there all her life. So it was the house was built in the 1800s, but like 2 of the rooms didn't have electricity in it. So like there was lead piping in it, so it needed
fucking hell.
out. Like the kitchen
Lead
was
piping.
smaller than where we're sat now. It was tiny.
No way.
So it was like crap. So delay. COVID, managed to get it across the line. 24th of August. Baby was due on the 12th of September. So we've got
Hectic.
it. And then Michelle's like, oh, do you think this is the worst decision? No, I fucking don't. But I didn't invent fucking COVID. I haven't got 60 grand to buy a fucking house that we can live in. But on the outside, I just said, don't worry.
Yeah.
So then I'm trying to get contractors, and they're all like, oh fucking no, lads. Support them all, and I was like, it's not. Oh, it is. Now, do you need to know this? And I was like, I don't. And then, you know what I mean? So in the end, I just went, you know what? Fuck off. I'll do it myself. So Michelle's brother's an engineer, and he was amazing. But it was me and him. Just sledgehammers. It was like being back at the gym, mate. I was doing 4 a.m., sleeping on the floor, getting up, doing a bit more, going to work, bang, bang, bang.
Fucking hell.
Honestly, it was so bad. So we were still living in the flat. I'm doing it. God love it. I've got videos. Michelle's like this, stripping paint, like peeling wallpaper. She's unbelievable, Michelle. You've met her. She's so sweet, but she's absolutely, honestly, God, she's such a like powerhouse of a woman. She's amazing. So we're doing it, and then the baby's due, and it's getting to the 12th. We've got no kitchen. We've got no ceiling in the kitchen. We've got no bathroom. Baby's room's okay. No flooring, but everything else is done. So we had to like board up a fireplace, done that. Our room, same. No flooring, got a hole in the wall where the fireplace should be, which is still there. But that's okay. Everywhere else is absolute. Like I knocked the wall down. I knocked the wall down to extend the bathroom, so there was no plumbing, there was no water, there was no electricity. My mate is an electrician. Sent round 12 lads, rewired the whole house in 4 days. Put it all in, brand new. Yeah, it was amazing. Like they were all in the loft, crawling around. Michelle's brother. We still hadn't done the kitchen, and I was like, right, we need to focus. Need running water. Have to have running water and heating the house, right? So we'll focus on the plumbing. So we did that, and Michelle was getting late, so she went over the due date, which saved us, and I'm like, Dad, stay in there. I love you, I can't wait to meet you, but please don't fucking move. So I promise you this, I'm not exaggerating in the slightest, yeah. So the bathroom still wasn't in, but the water was on. So like the toilet wasn't in, the shower wasn't in, but it was in. Michelle, I'm in work on the Friday, and she rings me, and she's like, no, it's the Thursday, sorry. And she rings me, and she's like, the baby isn't moving as much. And I've gone call the hospital. She's like, well, do you think it's still moving? I was like, call the hospital. What's the worst they're going to say? Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah.
So she calls the hospital, and they say, come down. And they're like, we're going to induce you. So we're still living in the flat. So we're like, alright, they said come back tomorrow. So that night I was just loading my car, running to the house, bang, dumping everything, running to the house, bang, dumping. And we thought we'll be alright because we weren't taking furniture from the flat. We had so much stuff. One of the rooms was up to here with bin bags on top of each other. Oh, it was awful. My mum, my family came and helped us. So we had to go into the hospital on the Friday. And when we were driving to the hospital, the car was still full of stuff. the baby seat had like a bucket with gin and vodka and whiskey in it. There was a glass cabinet next to it, and the whole bag, and I had stuff tied to the roof. Car seat had one in. It's just like. So I'm in the hospital, and they're like, "Oh, you can't come into the waiting room. You're gonna stand in the hallway." I was like, "Why? You're like COVID." I was like, "I'm here. You know what? Put the baby in it."
Yeah.
But they were like, "No." So I'm in there. So I was like, "Right." Then we go in, they give it, and I was like, "Right." The woman was like, "You alright?" And I was like, "Nah, there's so much shit in the car." And she's like, "Oh, the baby's not going to be coming anytime soon." I was like, "Have I got time to run home and empty the car?" She was like, Yeah. It's going to be a day or two. I was like, "Right." So run home, dumped out the car. My mum's there. Michelle's brother-in-law brought his dog out of bed and was like, "I'm going to sleep here and work 24 hours." And it was amazing. I go back to the hospital. They won't let me go in. So I'm watching a video on like what to do once he's in labour, because we hadn't been to no like pregnancy classes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, right. And I'm trying to put the car seat in. I can't get it. And it's one of those ISOFIX ones that clips onto the seat. Honestly, and I'm quite proud of my car. When I'm swinging off the side, booting this seat, and some fella just come out and was like, "No, that feeling." So then get it in, go into the hospital. Like, she still doesn't, the baby doesn't come. I'm spending the night. I'm like, "Have you got a cot bed?" "No, we can't give you one because of COVID." I was like, "We're in a room together. I've been here for 12 hours. I've been getting baths. I kept getting baths because I was nervous." And they're like, "No." So I was sleeping on the floor, like just literally on the floor, okay, on a wooden floor. Michelle gets up on the next day and she's bouncing on the ball because the back sitting. So I sit in the bed and the woman's like, "You're going to have to go to bed." And I was like, "Why?" She's like, "COVID." I was like, "I've been here for 36 hours in this room." And they're like, "No, honestly, it was so bad." Anyway, so Michelle's brother-in-law stays over. My mum was there. God love her. We come home from the hospital. We were living in the flat, and we come home and moved to the house. Like that day, the day.
Wow.
And we got there, and my mum had cleaned up a lot of stuff. And in our bedroom, there was like a microwave on the cupboard and a kettle. There was still no toilet. There was toilet, sorry, but there was no shower. But we had the bath in the yard. So for the first week, I was boiling the kettle in the morning and just putting it over me and washing it. Still had to go into work as well. And then we were building the kitchen, and then blah blah blah, and then eventually, after about a week or two, we were there. Like,
Crazy.
oh man, I didn't have grey hair before the gym and kitchen. But it's amazing though, and I think we did it all in about 6 weeks. And had we not have had that, like, it needs to be done, like, this is for your family, and your daughter, I was like, it would have took 6 months, no problem.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like, we did all that, and Michelle's brother had plastered, he helped us out. Like, Dad's a painter, he was there every day, like, painting. He would come around 7 in the morning, we'd be in bed with the baby, he'd be just painting away, like, it was amazing. Without the help of her family and my family, we would have been screwed, but we got it done, and it did take a lot out of us, but it felt boss, and like, you know, the house, don't get me wrong, the fireplaces, like I said, it's still got holes in the wall. But I got a quote. There's 5 fireplaces in the house, and the fellow was like, "Yeah, that's got to be nine grand." I was like, "I'm not really that asked." Leave it. Yeah. I was more. I was like, "Do you know what I've done? Stuffed a load of newspaper up a bin bag and just wedged it up the flute so nothing comes down."
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, because I was all sucked coming out, and I was just like, "Oh, fuck it."
5 fireplaces. That's mental.
Our house is mad in Crosby. Like, it's a weird. Like, yeah, it's really massive. You wouldn't think it. We thought it was just it's only a terraced house. I'm not trying to make out we've got this big grand house, and it looks like it's just a 2 up, 2 down. We walked in, and it was just like sitting room.
No
kitchen,
way.
4 bedrooms, 3 sitting rooms, and then it's got like a decent sized yard. It's got like a little servant's bed, and then a coal shed, and then an outdoor toilet. It's like we've done really well out of it. We're hoping to sell it and
Yeah.
But that's just an example how we like, right, if it needs to be done, we'll
Do it, yeah.
So we booked a wedding yesterday for 3 weeks.
Wow.
21st of August.
Whoa.
Sorted well. Yeah, it's done. Got the rings. I haven't got a suit yet. Michelle's on the fence about a jacket, but we've got the venue sorted, we've got the entertainment sorted. They're called in a lot of
brilliant.
Shout out to Ghetto Golf Lads there.
Yay!
Providing us with on air free of charge.
We're going to play a game.
Okay, good.
It's called This or That.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard of it before.
I have.
So basically, we'll just ask you 10 questions.
Choose one.
What you prefer, yeah. Give a little story behind it if you want, but this is what we kind of finished the podcast with. Horror or comedy?
Comedy.
Why?
Because why would you want to scare yourself? I'd rather feel good and have a smile at the end of it. Michelle loves horror.
Oh no.
But now I'm like, I'd rather walk out being like,
No.
that was great.
And the funny thing is as well.
And the funny thing is as well, me and you don't like horror,
Nah.
and we remember in film studies
Oh, it was
the subject was fucking horror.
yeah.
Me and him were like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Everton season.
To make it worse, my fear is like rats.
Yeah.
Remember one Scuddy through? I've never jumped so much in my life.
I don't mind if they don't bother me. I just like, what's the point?
Yeah.
It's like, why would you watch like something
I don't
that's so
want to
dreadful?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so yeah, definitely comedies. I like to feel good.
Yeah.
And I like to laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Five Guys on Nando's.
Nando's. Do like a grilled chicken. Five Guys is amazing, but you also need, like, you're paying for what you go and have a steak in a restaurant
Yeah,
for.
it's true, yeah.
It's alright, like, don't get me wrong, it is nice, I'm not saying it's not, but, I mean, chicken Nando's.
Yeah.
It can't beat a bit of spicy chicken.
Or,
Yeah.
Everyone likes chicken.
Yeah.
I tell you what, have you ever had the desserts they do there? It's called the donata.
No.
Oh, really nice.
It's
Try
good,
them
yeah.
out. It's like a custard cake. Yeah, it's really nice, like on a sweet pastry, and then it's got like a Caroline, like glazed. That's why it's like brown on top. It's really tasty. Yeah, highly recommend it. Try one.
Chinese or Indian?
I'd say Chinese, but I do love spicy food. I love
Me
it.
too, don't
It's
we?
just
Yeah.
Chinese. I think is you just got more options for it. But I love spicy food. Really into it. Like, yeah.
Gym related one, weights or cardio?
Wait. all day.
Really? Yeah.
Absolutely. I hate running.
Do you?
I hate it. I can lift stuff. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm quite strong for my podgy appearance. But cardio, and I can do it. I just don't like it. Like I used to play a lot of rugby, but I was front row. I used to play for Waterloo. I played for school. Played for county. Played for Charleston, North of England. So it was quite good. But my cardio was just bang right next. Like you know what I mean. So that, if you can see my ears off cabbage there, and that one's not as bad. Yeah. So I used to prefer that. I'm 5-a-side footy. I don't mind.
Yeah,
But 11-a-side.
Yeah.
I haven't got the.
Yeah.
I got the off like that. I used to play left back for Dallas Allo at Wayne Rooney because no one else would play left back. I'm shy. I got no left foot. Honestly, it was just like a sympathy vote. You know, it's on my CV.
Yeah, exactly.
Red wine or white wine?
Do you know what? I used to be a red wine, but I've drifted into white wine recently. I do like a dry white, but the way I like to have it, nice environment on the beach, and I like a 2-hour lunch on the beach. Yeah, and then get like a nice cold wine, just pour little bits of it into the glass and put ice in it, but enough ice so that the ice doesn't melt, it keeps the wine really cold, and just sit back looking at the ocean, just sipping on it. I love that. It's one of my favourite things to do. That.
Never had wine?
I mean, yeah.
Nah,
You've got to get good wine, and I know that's, that's such a cliche, but shite wine, shite.
Yeah.
It's like getting shite vodka or shite gin, you know you've had crap. But a good wine, and it, yeah, I'm very fortunate enough. I've got a friend who's a South African guy. I don't know if anyone ever been to South Africa.
No.
It is the most unbelievable place you'll ever see.
Yeah.
It is so beautiful. Like, I can't even tell you. It's amazing. And their wine, they're so proud of the meat and the wine. So you won't go into a cafe and they'll go, where's the sausage? But they'll be like, this fucking sausage, I caught it myself. It's from a buffalo. He only eats the finest grass. And honestly, and then so the wine they have, the wine taster fellas are called sommeliers, and his sister's a sommelier. So she was taking us to these vineyards. We're going to the vineyard, we're drinking this fresh wine, and she's like, and it was about, I think it was working out, it was like 52p a glass.
Wow.
And I looked to buy a bottle of it back in. It was 420 quid.
Oh
Honest to
my
God,
God.
if you ever get a wine from Stellenbosch, that's the region in South Africa.
That's
yeah.
me, yeah.
Honestly.
On the back bar.
Yeah, so I'm very fortunate to have gone with like a lot of wine nonsense who were all like,
Yeah.
Mama, can you taste the licorice? And I'm like,
How are you?
yeah, and I'm like this, that's nice. And they're like, spit it out, and I'm like, getting rid of free wine. So yeah, I used to like red wine, but I think I overdid it. So I'm a white wine now because it's a bit more, like white wine, red wine's heavy on
It
you.
is heavy.
Yeah.
It is heavy.
Yeah, it's amazing, don't get me wrong, I do like it, but it's heavy. Like, whereas white wine's a bit more refreshing. And then, like I said, if you set the scene.
Have you ever had the bagel?
Oh, yeah, look, I used to live in America. I used to live in New York.
Never had the bagel.
Yeah.
Ever go to Buddy's Cake Shop?
No, it's not.
Have you not? Hey, my name's Buddy, and I'm the boss.
oh yeah, the guy on the telly.
Yeah, he has
Oh,
like
what's
a
that called?
canola
Yeah.
gaff.
Yeah.
No, mate, I lived in Manhattan for a bit, and then I lived out on Long Island. and that's where a lot of the Jewish community live, and all my friends are Jewish.
Oh yeah.
I never had a bagel before then. Yeah, but cream cheese, it doesn't taste like cheese, mate.
I like
It's a spread.
Philadelphia. That's
cream cheese.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, put that on a bagel, mate. It's amazing.
I
Amazing.
still can't believe you haven't had the bagel.
Yeah, with
Just
the
don't get
bakery
one
and the
today and
donuts.
treat yourself, so tomorrow you can be like, right, bagel review.
Yeah. Or a prawn.
Prawns are nice. Yeah.
We have this conversation all the time.
Every
don't we?
time.
The thing is, though, it's so easy for you to just go out and get.
I
So
know.
you must not want to have it.
Yeah.
Prawns are nice, mate.
I had a crab stick.
When I was kids, I don't like fish that much.
I used to blow into a crab stick thinking it was like a toot sweet. You know, off Chitty City Bang Bang.
Don't worry, though. Why does this stink?
Yeah, yeah. It never made any noise either.
Shit.
And it tasted fish.
Sounds like you lived a hard life.
Too hot or too cold?
I'd rather be too cold, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you can warm up.
Yeah, and yeah, too hot. It's just like compressing, isn't it? It's like me and Michelle have this issue. I hate sunbathing. I just get so bored.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm like Kevin from Harry and Phil. And then she's always like, "Oh, just sit still with you," and I'm like, "No, let's go get a jet ski. Let's go. How far can you skim a stone?" Like, you know, I'm that guy. I'm like, let's go snorkel. Let's throw bread in the water and swim with the fishes. And then one year, I remember thinking, right, you know what? She's the love of my life. So if she wants to sunbathe, I'll do it. So I had headphones on, podcast on, and a book. So I'm like, focus. 45 minutes later, she's like, and I'm like, and she's like, and I'm like, hey, you bud. Let's go get a boat.
Ronaldo or Messi?
Right, so my answer, this is obviously the question that plagued every football fan.
Yep.
If I could be a footballer, I'd be Ronaldo. I think he's faster, stronger, better at headering, better long range shot, better free. No free kicks, probably about the same. He's got more to his game, but I think Messi's better.
Yeah.
I just think Messi's a better footballer.
Do personally, yeah.
It's just
He's
Messi.
an athlete.
Yeah. Ronaldo's a
athlete.
better specimen of
Yeah.
a human who shows you what you can achieve if you try.
Yeah.
Messi's just a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a gift.
Yeah.
Like, he's just got it.
Yeah.
Like, your best way, I think, if you're going to look at it, like, Anthony Joshua works for it, but Tyson Fury's just got it.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah. And you know what?
Team AJ all day though.
Yeah, oh yeah. But it's a wonderful question for us to ask, because
Yeah.
we've seen them play together, we've seen
Yeah.
them play against each other. It's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing to have. But yeah, I think, for me, Messi.
What do you think of the argument of he's played in the
Nah,
Prem?
it don't bother me.
And what do you think of the argument of he's won more, Ronaldo's won more at international level?
If it was an issue about the league not being good, then why have Barcelona and Real Madrid won some other European Cups?
Mm-hmm.
Messi, Ronaldo's not exactly gone to shit teams. And won it,
Yeah,
has he?
exactly.
Messi's not had a hard ride, but he's that good. Where else would he go?
Yeah.
And how many goals has Messi scored against English teams
Yeah,
as well?
exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
And it's not like he doesn't turn up in big games.
Yeah, exactly.
My brother's argument's always like, lad, but he's never won a World Cup, so he'll never be as good as Maradona.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's done everything, but like, he's
Yeah.
fucking tried his hardest with that shit team.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I know Maradona was in a shit team, but back in the day, there was no one close to Maradona.
Yeah.
Like, Maradona was a 10, the next player was like an 8,
Yeah.
and then average, everyone was a 6.
Yeah.
Whereas now everyone's averaging 8.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's my argument for it, but it's so subjective.
Yeah, it is.
Apart from the fact that the stats are better for Messi anyway.
Nike or Adidas?
I used to be Adidas guy, I think I'm Nike now.
Yeah,
I do think I'm Nike, yeah.
Nike.
Yeah, Adidas were good back in the 80s, but Nike really, like, pushed it forward with more, like, progressive, like scientific stuff. But then the branding was a lot better as well, I think. Whereas Adidas used to have the branding in the 80s, I think Tiger Woods catapulted them into another level.
Yeah.
So when you see Nike, you think cool and like success, don't you? Not that you don't with Adidas,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Nike's
I know what
everywhere.
you mean,
Yeah.
Nike's everywhere, innit?
Yeah.
It is.
But I fucking hate Nike football kits.
Yeah, I do.
They're so
Yeah.
They're all the
boring
They are.
and
Yeah.
crap.
Copy and paste.
Yeah.
Template.
Yeah, it is.
And we're the idiots who keep buying it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I hate that. I do like a 3-stripe on a shirt, but no, I'm like,
Yeah. Coke or Pepsi?
but I don't really drink
Same.
fizzy drinks
Yeah,
stuff.
no,
I can't do it. I get so gassy.
Yeah.
the last one, Phil Thompson or Alan Carter?
Ah, you can't ask that. No comment. So Dave Fairclough. You called that. Right, I'll give you my key thing. So I was fortunate enough to know them both. For those who don't know why, there's just been an explosion there. Fortunate enough to know them both. I went to All Saints, Dallasall. And then I was very lucky enough in third year, I switched to Merchant Taylors, which is a really fancy school in Crosby. But with that...
Rugby school?
Yeah. Well, I got a rugby scholarship for it. With that, I started to meet like a different group of people. So you'd meet like, where I was knocking around with like fucking Wayne Rooney and Blake Brown and all that. I'm now knocking around with Lauren Dalglish, Lucy Hanson, Phil Thompson's kids, Alan Kennedy. No, Dalglish, Hanson's kids went to Merchants, but like they outside friendship, and we got pally with them. So I ended up living with Alan Kennedy's lad, but obviously I'm still a massive Liverpool fan. The dad comes in and I was like, I'm doing what my mate did with Henderson, trying to pretend I'm not a massive fan, but I'm like, and then Phil's as well, and both of them are completely different, and both of them are the nicest people. Honestly, I'm not just saying that because I'm a Red. I'm saying that they're genuinely the saddest people in the world. Alan used to come round and turn up at our house, and to this day I'll never get over how boss it made me feel. He just turned in. He'd have bottles of wine in his own car and just be like, all right, lads, how you eat, boys? And then just sit there and have a bevy with us. And I thought, well, he likes footy. I'll just talk to him about footy. And he'd give me the time of day. I'd be like, what did it feel like when you scored in Rome? I just fucking didn't know what I was doing. Just did it as hard as I could. You know what I mean? And then I was playing footy with him once. And he's screaming at me, fucking get here, dude. Run faster. I'm like, you can't run faster, lad. Physics won't allow this to go through the air quicker. And I'm running down the thing and I'm gassing. And he plays the ball across, and I fucking slotted in. And I'm like, yes! And he's like, you shouldn't have been here on the edge of the box. And I'm like, oh, I fucking scored, lad. And he went, yeah, it reminded me of Dalglish. And I was like, I took my boots off. I was like, I'm never playing again.
Oh, yeah.
And then Phil, first time I ever met Phil, he's got this amazing house in a place, I won't say. But he's like, his lads ring me in the sunshine. He's like, do you want to come around and get in the pool? And I'm like, oh, you got a pool?
Yeah.
Honestly, lived down the road from me. I put a backpack on. And I thought, right, going around for a barbecue. So I went to shop, bought some burgers and steaks. Bought some, and I'm fucking legging it down the road like that. And I get there, and his mum's like, hi, lads. You Dick? And I'm like, yeah, hi. Hi. And Phil's like, hi, nice to meet you. And I'm Phil. And I'm like,
I know who you are.
Do you prefer Phil or Philip? And then they're like, yeah, I like getting the pool. So I'm like, okay, so I got my bag. And she's like, no, lad, don't be ridiculous. You're our guest. Put that back in your bag. I was like, no, it's fine. Take that back. Lad. Don't use it. You're our guest. We've invited you. Get in the pool. Yeah, let me get you a beer. And I was like, no, stay there. Yeah, I'll have a beer. I was like, do you mind me drinking in the pool? She was like, you're not going to smash it, are you? And I was like, no. She's like, yeah, you go up yourself. Phil's like, how's it going, lads? What have you been up to? And I was just like, this is amazing. Yeah. So then I'm like, oh, Phil, I thought, you know what? I said, Phil, I'm a massive friend. He's like, good on you, lad. And I'm like, how is it? What do you reckon? He's just chatting away. Any question I asked, what happened with Fowler? You know, all this. Chatting away. And then every time I see him, he always goes out to his He's like, John, how's it going, man? And I was fortunate enough to go, I'm really good friends with this lad, and we went on a stag do to Mexico, Cancun, with Phil Thompson. Wow. Just like, Phil, let's get a picture. So there's all of us on the beach, like doing the far. Yeah. And I'm on a nightclub, and in this nightclub, it's called Senor Frogs. I don't know if anyone's ever been to Cancun. That place is mental.
I've seen Senor
Frogs. It's mental.
Yeah.
So we're at Senor Frogs, and it's like $15 to get in, or $25, and you get all your ale. So we're like, right, $25 then. Exactly. And they're like, what you want? So I'll have whiskey, vodka, right? There's 2 bottles of Red Label. There's 3 bottles of Grey Goose. See ya. And they just got off, and you're just like,
fuck, you know.
So we're there in this little bit, we're having a drink, and I'm going for a piss, and I'm like this. And there's this Cockney fella going through his head, I'm fucking telling you, it's fucking Phil Thompson, it's fucking Phil Thompson. And I'm like this, looking, thinking, and I'm like, yeah, fuck you know. And he goes, oh, fucking Liverpool fan, I know what he looks like. Fucking red nose can. What's he going to be doing in fucking Cancun? And he's like, and I'm like, and his mates are clearly not arsed, and he's and I'm like, is he here? And he's like, yeah, and I'm like, and he's like, yes, and I was like, show me. He's like, yeah. So he goes down, he's like, he's there. And I'm like, oh, nice to meet you, lads. I'm Jonathan. What's your name? I can't remember his name. Let's say Ken. And I'm like, yeah. Phil. He goes, all right, John. I'm like, this is Ken. He's like, all right, Ken. And he went, do you want to be a Ken the Freak? And yes, so I'm very fortunate. And my brother's a massive Liverpool fan. He's never really met Phil before, and he knows I'm mate to them. But it's hard to like orchestrate him without, it's your mate's dad at the end of the day. Yeah. And anyway, I managed to get his tickets to Basel, and we'd never been to a European Cup game before. My brother's so excited. So whenever my brother's 40, he also owns his own law firm, so he's a well-to-do guy. Before we left the room, he's like, munching a Toblerone. And then he goes, starts doing push-ups. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm too nervous. And I was like, it's only 10 o'clock, come on. So we go down to the square, and I hadn't told him we were doing it. But I was texting the lads, because I thought, if I tell him and we don't meet him, he'll be like, he's like a little kid. Yeah. I was like, it'll ruin his day. So I didn't mention nothing to him, and then I go, oh yeah, like, we're at the square. Remember, there's the videos of the church, isn't there, where everyone's booting the ball. So if you look at the church, we're on the left, and on the right was where like the strips of bars were. So I get a text, and I was like, yeah, come over here. And he's like, no, it's down here. And I'm like, no, come on, let's just go. As we go over, Phil's up on this bar that you have to have like tickets to get into, and everyone's just like, word. And he goes, John, alright, come on, lads. And my brother's like,
Starts making press up.
So we go up. Oh, that sugar's coming back. I've got nugget in my teeth, lad. What will he think? We go in, and it's Phil's there, Dave Fairclough's there, Alan Kennedy's there, and Sammy Appiah's there. And they're just like, I'm like, oh, this is my brother. And I'm like, alright, lad, nice to meet you. My brother's like, this is the best day ever. He didn't say nothing. And then where we were was like a little balcony, and then what everyone was doing was like, Phil, have a berry, lad. So about 900 beers on the floor, like in cans unopened. So we're all just like, next thing they all start singing You Never Walk Alone. They ended up giving up a Black European trophy. I've got videos like me and my brother and Phil all singing You Never Walk Alone. And then Phil's like, how are you getting the game? And Phil's like, I need a piss, will you help me? So because obviously he can't go anywhere without you know what I mean? He's in there, everyone loves him. So what happens to me and my brother? Kind of fucking suit jacket over his head over the car to me. He's like, oh, I just really want to piss. So I'm like, escorting him, and I'm like, that's you, brother. But you never thought you'd be Phil Security. I got a beer cup, and he's like, then we got the train down with him, and Phil's like, oh, I'm going to have a piss. I go to the piss, and Kevin's like, just doesn't a wee like a normal fella. Like a normal fella, yeah.
That's unreal, that.
I'm not going to comment, both of them are unbelievable fellas.
That's fair. That's fair.
That is class. Listen, Jonathan, thanks.
No worries. Thanks so much for inviting me. It's been great to be here.
And obviously, on behalf of me as well, like, thanks for everything you do for the gym.
And you too, Jay. Thanks for
basically, I'm going to go as far as saying saving my life. So, obviously, seriously, like, so yeah, thank you. Well, thanks very much.
I'm double backed, guys, don't worry.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll be back, obviously. We won't be back next week, it's the week after, isn't it? Because you're a very busy guy with festivals next week.
Busy weekend.
Which festivals?
Southport Festival, so Sausage and Cider Fest on the Friday, Save the Rave on the Saturday, and Tribute Festival on the Sunday.
Everyone's going to be so keen.
And the Friday and Saturday night is the State as well.
Because I was at Bongos the other day, I was speaking to Johnny, and I was like, how was it? And he was like, I'm shitting myself.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You could feel everyone's just so
I'm looking forward to it.
Just
out in an environment, it's going to be good.
900 degrees in content though when we were doing it.
Did look sweaty.
Yeah, it was really bad.
But yeah,
don't forget, subscribe, like, share, and obviously spread the word if you can, guys. And we'll be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks time.
Thanks very much. Cheers, Jonathan.
Cheers, mate. Guys, Crew 42 for all your gymming needs. You two could look like me.